Common issue that we all have is which keyboard do we pick for our church? While people may have their own preference, sometimes it's up to us to pick a board that's going to best fit everybody's needs. Today I wanted to show you some of my favorite boards that I think are applicable in any church of any size. I just want to note that the 4 boards I'm covering today are all 88 keys and weighted. But there's plenty of smaller boards that are great options. One that I suggest is the Astrolab. I'll link to a video down below that I did on it not too long ago. The Roland Juno-D. Here's a couple sounds that I like off this board. Man, if you're gonna do an electric piano, you gotta have a flat 7 in there somewhere. Now that I've shown you some of my favorite sounds, let me show you how I'll use it on stage. First, I'm gonna click this button number 16, called User, and it pulls up a couple of patches that I've already set. This one, I'm gonna say Dual, and it's gonna pull up my 2 patches that I have on this one, and this is what they sound like. This is a solid patch to have for any moment in a church. It's going to cover every single one of your basic needs. This other patch that I made is something I would probably use as an aux player for a song one or something a little bit more gospel driven. It's so fun, I'm sorry, I'm having a great time with this. I've shown you a couple patches that I like, but I want to show you how easy it is to make one. I'm already on User, so I'm going to use the wheel to select the next one. It's unnamed, I'll hit Dual. I'm going to go down to my first grand piano. Now it's important to note that the first time that you get on these, both of the upper and the lower level are going to be selected, so turn your upper down or your lower down depending on which one you're going to go first. So I think for this one, I want to do an electric piano. So the next one I'm going to select is going to be I'll do a brass for this one. But I've heard that one already. I'm going to hit Enter, and then I can navigate through which ones I might like. Yep. So once I've found what I like and I played around with the levels a little bit, I'm going to hit Enter. And then exit. Kind of play around my levels. I like this one because I can be a little bit more dynamic with it. So if I'm going to start the verse maybe just on the EP and then I want to bring in my brass on the pre-chorus, I'll go. I might actually be taking this and using it on Sunday. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now that I got my patch, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna save it. So I'm gonna go to Write, and then over to Scene Write, and hit Enter. You can name it whatever you want to. I'm gonna keep it as Init Scene. Enter. Right there on U003. Are you sure? I'm very sure. Now it's complete. That's a basic overview of the Roland Juno-D and how I would suggest that you use it live at a church. Next, I want to move on to a great board, the Yamaha CP88. This CP88 has a lot of really cool things going for it. My favorite feature is to turn the sections on and off. There's these little toggles with lights. Yo, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, it makes me feel like a pilot in Top Gun. The toggles make it really easy for you to see what you are and aren't using because the entire section is gonna light up and go away. Let me show you some of these pianos, electric pianos, and pads. What I wanted to show you on that last one was exactly how seamless I can add different patches and different moments into what I'm doing live. It's also super easy to set up my live sets. I have a couple of patches that I already set up for a song 1 and a song 2, which is kind of how I normally format my boards. So for my song 1, I've got a felt piano, the 78 RD Rhodes, and the mellow pad individually, just for a little bit of texture. Again, just for texture, not too crazy. One thing you're going to see a lot in this video is how I layer my patches. Generally, I'll take an electric piano or a different piano that's a little bit softer and put it an octave above. It's kind of like a chorus effect without actually putting the chorus effect on it. To me, in my playstyle and what I like to do at church, it just adds that extra little bit of depth, and then if I have my strings underneath it, you get a really full sound with not a ton of things going on. That's another thing that I love about the CP88, is every single sound that you're going to get is extremely full just on its own. So I showed you the patch that I set up, and I showed you how I normally will add things live. Setting up my scenes and saving my live sets is just as easy. So let's say I'm going to start with this S700. Then I'm going to add a Rhodes to it, and then I'll show you exactly kind of how I manipulate my Rhodes sound too. So now I want to go one at a time just to kind of see the patch by itself. I just love how that Rhodes with a little bit of drive adds some more character to the moment. I'm gonna add a synth brass. I found my synth brass that I want to use. It's this OB Brass 1. And if I add my piano, I'm actually really happy with this patch. Again, both of these coming on stage with me this Sunday. So just for this, I'm going to say store, however I want to name it. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to press enter to store. That's it. Incredibly easy to save these patches and then adjust them as you go. And everything that I saved here is going to stay there. So if I can adjust anything else that I want to, I'll go back to it and that's how I set it. So if I'm moving through my sets, one thing that I absolutely love about the CP88 is when I'm switching between scenes, there's this beautiful transition and crossfade between the sounds. This makes all of your transitions in your set completely seamless. The next board we're going to talk about is something you might not have had a chance to sit with yet. It's a Roland V-Stage 88. Let me walk you through a couple of my favorite pianos and E-pianos on this V-Stage 88. main thing I want to cover on this Roland V-Stage 88 is the EX scene section. So if I just hit Shift and then select, I made a few patches here. I'm going to show you what those sound like and then how to make one or two of them. These are two scenes that I would use in almost any church for any situation. My favorite part about EX scenes is that they actually automatically save. So anything that I edit here, I don't have to press save, I don't have to write anything, it's just there. So I'm gonna go to 3, which I haven't touched yet. I'm gonna select a different piano. Let me try this bold grand. Like that one. So this one I'm gonna keep relatively simple. I'm gonna do a grand and then a couple of pads. So I'll go over here and hit on. Let's see. Big fan. One cool thing about the synthesizer section is that I've got A and B, but on B I can add another piano, another electric piano, another organ. So if you've been watching up until this point, you know that I like to take a piano, put it an octave above. So here's how I'm going to do that here. So I'm going to show you how it auto-saves. I'm going to start on 2, and then I'm going to hit 3, and it's going to be there. We did a video a little while back with Scott Tibbs from Roland that we're going to link to down below. Next, we're going to move on to the Nord Stage 4. The Stage 4 is a board that you're probably familiar with, but once you sit with it for even a couple of minutes, you'll see that it's a board suited for anybody of any level. Let me show you a couple of my favorite pianos, and then I'll dive into the live section. Outside of these pianos, the main thing that we're going to cover today is the live mode. Let me show you a couple patches that I set up. As you can see, there's a crossfade between these patches for seamless transitions. Let me show you how I set up my scenes. I'm going to start with my felt upright. Happens to be my favorite. I want to add another piano. I'll say the Velvet Grand is the one that I want. And so for this one being my extra, I'm going to go up an octave, and I'll go soft, my dynamic compression on 1, and my unison on the 2nd. You hit them both at the same time, you're gonna get both. I have my piano set up, so I'm gonna move on to my synths. I'm gonna throw some pads in here. Start with the first one. I'm gonna do shift and then single layer. So I only get one at a time. Turn these down. I like that one. I'll move on to B. I'm still gonna be in the single layer of the synths. Yeah, I think that those are gonna layer actually really nicely together. Cool. Let me get one more. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit all three and I'll be able to get the three layers together. Everyone's gonna have their own preferences, but for me, I like to have a couple of different vibes in there so I can change them depending on what moment I'm playing in. So I'm gonna go exit there. I'm happy with this one. So I'm gonna say store as live mode 5. I hit store again, and then we're all good. Stage 4 has unbelievable presets, and it's incredibly easy to manipulate and to customize them to whatever you need for the moment. Any and all of these boards are going to be great for whatever you need them for. I'm going to link to some videos that are deep dives on our channel so that you can get a better understanding of what these really can do. For more information on any of these boards, head on over to sweetwater.com or contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.